Alright, so what's poppin', everybody? SACREDFR Negro here, and welcome back to another Pokemon discussion video. This video topic is mostly around what everybody has been saying in the Pokemon community for the past couple of years, actually. And it is, why are the newer Pokemon games so easy? Now, man, it's so disappointing because I actually do enjoy this series, but we can't ignore the elephant in the room. The past, or rather since X and Y, the games have kind of just been holding your hand. And I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, oh yeah, because it's supposed to be for kids, but there's actual evidence and there's actual like quotes that actually negate that argument, where it's not actually for kids, it's for everybody. Now, I know everybody's going to talk about the fact that Pokemon is one of those games that you played as a child. It has a lot of nostalgia features, but you gotta remember Pokemon is also an RPG, and I'm pretty sure us older fans, not the younger folk, us older fans, have played a lot of RPGs in our past time, and we can definitely see where Pokemon can improve in some areas, especially from the fan games and from the spin-off series that have come out also. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section below, before we actually get into this video, what are some features from other games or some new ideas that you probably have in your head that you guys would think Pokemon should add to their future games that would make them more enjoyable for not only you, but pretty much like an overall standpoint. And then I'm going to get into it as to, first of all, why they're easy, and some games that they could probably take some inspiration off of for myself personally. Be sure to hit thumbs up for the boys, because we appreciate it. I appreciate it over here. And if you're new, subscribe. That's also great. And check out the other content here on the channel. So let's get into it. Let's get it. Now, to basically combat the whole "it's for kids" argument, pretty much there are two quotes that I kind of want to read to you guys from an article back in 2014 that Masuda actually used to basically explain why the games have gotten easier and why the format is pretty much the same in the main series of games. But remember, this is back in 2014 and not Sun and Moon, because they kind of changed everything back in Sun and Moon, but it's pretty much still the same in a way. So let's get into it right now and let's read this. I'm going to actually link the article in the description section below so you can go read it if you want more information on it. But let's get into it right now. So in the first quote, he says, "Rather than any actual feedback from players, it's more accepting the realities of modern life." He said, "Kids these days, or even people who grew up playing Pokemon, everyone is a lot more busy. There are a lot more things competing for a person's time than there were back then." So he's pretty much saying, back in the day, back when Red and Blue and Gold and Silver came out, there wasn't a lot of things, like life that was going on with a lot of people. So I'm assuming that's pretty much what he meant, or just games or whatever. For example, there are so many free games you can play on your phone now. There are so many different entertainment options, so making it a little easier to play is the reason for that. So I'm pretty sure that kind of confirmed, and the next quote actually backs up this statement also, because if you look at the past, maybe like 5 to even 10 years of gaming, mobile gaming has been the newest thing, the biggest craze, because you have games like Angry Birds, Bejeweled on the phones. You have like games like Dokkan Battle, Treasure Cruise, even Bleach Brave Souls, that have came out and just kind of blew up. Even Pokemon Duel has a fan base nowadays, and you have all these games that are coming out in the past 5 to 10 years, and they're actually a lot more convenient to play, rather than actually buying a system and putting time to stay at home and play these games. It makes it a lot more easier for the player itself, a lot more enjoyable, a lot more a little more digestible. I don't know if that's an actual word. I'm not even gonna try to bother with that. But like I said, the second quote actually adds on to that. He goes by saying, "One of the main appeals of Pokemon over the years is the concept that even through all these games, you can have people 20 years apart, but they can still talk about Pokemon." I'm thinking he means like in a general sense. There's always the gyms, the Elite Four, the champions, a lot of Pokemon that are featured throughout all the different generations. A lot of that shared experience, even if you're 20 years apart, is something that really is appealing about Pokemon. So right now, I think queuing that exact same elements and seeing all these new Pokemon from X and Y treated equally with the previous generations, I think it's really exciting, and we really want to focus on that for the moment at least. So like I said, this is back in 2014, and it's crazy because X and Y, I think X and Y started that wave of the games getting easier, games getting a lot easier. So between X and Y, Oris pretty much held your, X and Y held your hand from the first town all the way to when Mega Evolution was first talked about. Then Oris was I guess held your hand up until I want to say the second or third gym badge. Then you have Sun and Moon, which held your hand for like the first hour and a half of the actual game. You know, the first island itself was in a literal tutorial, so it's crazy. Like, I think X and Y actually started that wave of making the games easier, and it does suck because looking at these quotes and understanding where he's coming from at this time period, it's like, oh crap, I understand where he's going for. But then you look at games like X or Sun and Moon, where it's like, okay, y'all did something differently, but I can still see like the format's pretty much the exact same. Where you have like the 7 trial captains, you have the Elite Four still. You know, pretty much the only thing about Sun and Moon that was different from everybody else, they didn't have an established league. That was pretty much what you were working towards. And I can definitely understand why now. I can definitely understand why. And it sucks because, you know, there are so many good ideas. There's even ideas from the fan games that Pokemon has yet to, and if not, probably won't even get to incorporate into their games. Which is pretty much the purpose of this video. Is like, yo, what do you want to see being added to it? So now I think it's time to go look at some fan games, look at some fan games, some actual other RPGs, and I guess some spin-off games for some suggestions that I want to see personally in the Pokemon series, in the main series rather. And let me, like I said, let me know in the comment section below which one you want. So let's get into that now. Now the Pokemon community has grown so much. It's crazy over the past couple of years since X and Y actually came out. And I'm pretty sure we all know what a Nuzlocke is. I'm pretty sure if you played a lot of fan games, you know that these fan games have like hard mode, Nuzlocke mode, Nuzlocke randomizer mode, certain modes that kind of help increase the difficulty and the uniqueness of the player's experience, whether you're going for a regular playthrough, the most canon playthrough as it is, or you just want some, you know, want a challenge like that. You know, even Fire Emblem, for the past, what, maybe 3 games where we got Fire Emblem Awakening, Fate, and then Echoes, they have the normal, the hard, the Lunatic, Lunatic Plus. I think in Heroes they have like Inferno mode, and you know, these are difficulties settings that you can actually, you know, make your, I guess, experience more challenging if that's what you're going for. Me personally, me being one of the older guys, one of the older people that were playing Pokemon from the beginning, honestly, I played Pokemon literally from the beginning. 1996, I was a baby and I played, like, my first game system was a Pokemon, was a Game Boy Color. They thought it was sweet. It was like, oh, it's just a game for him to play. It's something for him to like play with or whatever. And I literally had a Game Boy. You can ask my mom. I wish she had pictures back then, but it's whatever. It's fine. But you have, like, you know, the Fire Emblem series. You know, a very popular series right now. The past, what, 3 or 4 games have had these different difficulty settings. The fan games have, like I said, the Nuzlocke mode. They have the Nuzlocke randomizer mode, the hard mode. I think in Black and White 2, actually, or I don't know if this was one of the hacks. I'm not sure, 100% complete. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody in the comment section let me know, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to butcher this. But I think there is a hard mode in Black and White and Black and White 2. I'm not sure 100%, but there were difficulties that you can like set for yourself. And I think that all comes down to the player, which is why I think, you know, why I would give them the benefit of the doubt of not adding those. But at the same time, it's like, it would be good just to have it so you don't have to like take the extra effort to, I guess, take the responsibility to even like consider doing that. But then let's talk about like the story. You know, he talks about, you know, the same format, the gym leaders, the Elite Four, the champions. You also have to take into consideration, you have the same professors, you have the evil teams, you have the generic story, you have the gimmicks, you know. I said this in my last video. I was like, yo, which gimmicks, or are you a fan of the gimmicks? Are you not a fan of the gimmicks? Let me know. And I'm gonna ask that exact same question here. Are you a fan of the gimmicks, or are you not? Because I think in X and Y, the gimmick was Mega Evolution, and in Oris, the gimmick was Mega Evolution. Sun and Moon, it was the Alolan forms, And I think in Black and White 2, what was the gimmick in that one? What was the gimmick in that one? I'm pretty sure it had a gimmick, but I'm just going by off with like the most recent games. But there's always a gimmick in these past couple of games. I'm not sure I'm a fan of them. I'm not really sure, because I'm a humongous fan of new Pokemon. I love new Pokemon. I love amazing story. I love a lot of character development. I love that. So like Sun and Moon was a really good mix of both, because it had new Pokemon, not a lot of new Pokemon, but the gimmicks made up for it. You know, the Alolan types, or Alolan forms rather. They didn't have a lot of character progression with Hal and then Lily. But then we look at the spin-off games, like we have even the Poke Park series, we have the XD and Coliseum series, we have the Mystery Dungeon series when it comes to like a story, actual broad and darker story. We have the Ranger series. Granted, it's not the same. It's pretty much the same. This is your job. This is what you have to do. Here's the evil guys doing that. It's the same generic stuff. But I think in Shadows of Omnia, the story was actually captured in a better way, especially with all the 4th gen Pokemon in there. I'm a 4th gen fag. I don't care. I love 4th gen anyway. But we look at these different games and we're talking about like story. You know, we're talking about actual story. We're talking about actual, I guess, being a fan of the new stuff that they add. Me, I'm a fan of new Pokemon. I love story, especially since I'm a grown ass man. I love story. Something has to keep me going. Yeah, I can't just keep playing Pokemon for Lord knows how long and not be a fan of the story. There's a couple games here and there that I can actually sit there and like look at and be like, okay, this game had a good story, this game had a good plot, it's whatever. And then that's why I play a lot of fan games, because a lot of fans rather have a more developed, more well-rounded story than just having the gameplay be gimmicky. I love that a lot. I love 100% love that. I love gameplay. I love fan games. I love hacks, you know. But yeah, so let me know in the comment section, are you a fan of, I guess, the story elements? Are you a fan of, would you rather them, I guess, take certain things and kind of like add it into Pokemon? Because you know Pokemon likes to do their own thing and likes to do, take little small subtle things from other series and put it in there. Like new Pokemon, certain new Pokemon look like some other series monsters or whatever. Some trainers look like some other people, NPCs in other games. I'm a big fan of the story, so what, give me, yo, real talk, give me like some story suggestions, real talk, give me some story suggestions. Let's talk about new Pokemon. What Pokemon would you want to see be made into the games? What could they implement, you know, to make Pokemon more enjoyable for the masses than keeping the same formula? What in the original formula would you change? Like, would you rather change like the gym leaders, like the amount of gym leaders, the types of bad guys you encounter? You know, would you rather have 1 or 2 evil teams? Would you rather have some like adult, mature rated stuff? Like, what are you looking for in a Pokemon game? Are you looking for like some difficulty settings, kind of like how the Fire Emblem has? Like I said, the normal, hard, lunatic, and then I think Inferno. I think Inferno, like I don't know what Inferno does, but let me know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys like. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe if you guys did. And I'll talk to you guys later in the next video. Bye. I love you guys.